So Alyssa, give me 1 minute. All right, Alyssa, floor is yours.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Shelley. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Alyssa Unterborn. So I am your solution sales executive here at Ingram Micro, and I'm responsible for all your client solution business that runs through Ingram. So I wanted to say thank you and thank you all for joining our first IDG Lunch and Learn of 2023. We are going to be featuring Lenovo Workstations with Jeff Thorburn today. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in the chat or reach out to myself or our specialists here at Ingram to get those questions answered. As always, just some quick housekeeping before we get into the content today. Don't forget to register and attend. For attending, you get that $25 Grubhub loaded to your accounts today until 11:30 local time this evening. So make sure to click that word apply on the home page, or when you go to check out, there'll be an option to apply that to your order as well. Any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Please make sure you registered for our booster program here exclusively through Ingram Micro. This opens up you and your business up to free promos, demos, and MDF opportunities that's not offered anywhere else in the channel. On top of that, we still have our Yellowstone partner contest running for the remainder of the year until March. All sales do backdate. So anything that your company has done since July of 2022 will count towards this bucket list trip and getting you in for the running for that trip. So contact your Lenovo specialist to register for that contest and opt into our booster program today. Next, just a quick promotion that we are running. So we are still running our P27H monitor. We have over 7,000 of those in stock right now with over $200 worth of savings on each unit. So please let us know if you'd like to have that quoted out, take a look at opportunities with that. And we're definitely looking to make sure our partners get that with that nice steep discount. To finish off, we will be continuing our partner monthly lunch and learns, and we're going to be looking into February. We have Intel on with us, so make sure to register. We're going to drop that in the chat. And then lastly, we have our ISG team. They're going to be also continuing their Tech Talk Tuesdays starting on January 24th. That's going to be surrounding sustainability initiatives. So if it makes sense for your business, please register for that on the ISG side to help you with those Lenovo ISG opportunities. As a reminder, you will also get that $25 Grubhub for registering and attending for that January 24th Tech Talk Tuesday. I will now pass it off to Jeff Thorburn for Lenovo Workstations. Thank you.
All right. Well, good afternoon or good morning, everybody, depending upon where you at. Where you are at. My name is Jeff Thorburn. I am the workstation specialist covering distribution. And so today I'd like to take you through some of the workstation stuff that we've got and get you updated on it. Hopefully give you some information that you can use from a standpoint of demystifying, hopefully, workstations and some of the GPUs. So let me just start out and we'll get going here. So why sell workstations? It all boils down, we know, the applications, right? They're technical in nature. They got the virtual reality, you got the deep learning, you've got artificial intelligence, all those buzzwords we've been hearing for a long, long time. So it's important to have a computer that will actually be able to handle that software and that workload and deliver the performance that the customer needs as well. So why sell Lenovo workstations? Well, I personally think they're pretty good, but that's just me. We're number one in reliability on workstations. We have been for about 4 years. TBR does a survey on that and keeps us up to date on that. We've also done a lot of innovation things around developing the world's smallest desktop, and the 360 Tiny is our most current version of that. We're also the fastest growing workstation manufacturer. And then we're also first to market with the P620 with the Threadripper Pro, AMD Threadripper Pro as well. We have the lightest 16-inch mobile workstation with the P1. And we also have some stuff unique that we have some turnkey solutions that you can get for your customers if they're interested in doing things like data science. We have some preloaded applications on our particular products that allow them to get started on being able to make sense of what their data is and how to use their data for analytics and tools and stuff. So let's talk a little bit about the products. So the P16 I talked about, that is the most powerful workstation we have in our lineup. We've got the lightest workstation in our lineup with the P1, as I mentioned earlier, P360 Tiny, the smallest one, and then the P620, which is the powerful AMD up to 64 cores. The next chart, I put this up here. It's an ugly chart, I know. But if I draw your attention to the right-hand side of the chart, you'll see that those are the applications. If you look at the squares, those are the particular industries that would be using those applications. And then to your left is what products we have that fit those type of applications and will run them, okay? So taking that down one step further is let's talk about some of the industries where we've seen to have some success and where you ought to look at. But obviously AEC, architectural engineering construction. But I want to emphasize the other thing, which is infrastructure. And we have our illustrious federal government. We won't get into the politics of that, but giving away money to build our infrastructure better. We do need it. There's no question about that. Better dams, better bridges, better internet. So you have companies that deal in that side of the infrastructure side of the house. If you have anybody that you do construction or architecture, any of those type of things, those are people you may want to place a call to because they're getting some money to be able to go do these things. Obviously, we know manufacturing and engineering with products from Autodesk and Siemens. We know that those are all applications that I'll typically run on a workstation. The other one we're seeing a lot of success in is media and entertainment. When we came out with the P620 with the Threadripper Pro and the 64 cores and the ability to add a couple of cards in there, it really allowed artists to be able to render their scenes locally versus sending it off to a render farm, waiting overnight, and then finding out they need to make a change and then have to do it again and do that whole process again. So it's really improved the customer experience, if you will, from media and entertainment. So we've got a number of our partners are using those in media and entertainment as well. Then data science, I talked about that earlier. That's a big buzzword right now. But things like Tableau software, I think we're not the only ones that use that. And if you use a Google product called TensorFlow, these applications would take advantage of those cards. And then you've got, of course, AR, VR. We all know about that. And then Autodesk has got their products, and Epic has got theirs. And then we got the gaming side of the house as well. And then healthcare and life science. So things like Barco medical imaging, LG healthcare and medical imaging. And I want to make sure you understand that LG has a very high-end set of imaging monitors that they use to plug into our workstations. You can actually buy those from Lenovo and be able to have one-stop shop when you go there. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, this is where I think people, when I came into this industry, always struggled with is which card is going to run this application best, right? Which one is it? Frankly, any one of these cards are going to run the applications we've just talked about just fine, right? Some cards will do it better than others, and target those other ones. We'll talk about that. So if you take a look at the lower end side, right, the T400, T1000s, think of those as high-end business graphics. Anybody who's in business, not doing a technical application, just doing business applications. If it's PowerPoint, if it's Excel, power users. See, when you add one of these cards, not only do you get, yes, better graphics, but guess what? You get additional compute cores that you can tell the application using NVIDIA software package to go use those cores. It's important because the T400 gives you 384 additional cores. Start thinking about that for a second. Now I've got some compute power, right? That's how we can do a lot of these high-end applications on workstations because I now get the compute power with the additional GPU that I have built into there. So again, it's not about graphics necessarily. It's more about compute power, right? So then if you go up one more from the T series and you go into the A2000, if you're doing some small AutoCAD, doing some 3D modeling, you'll get a better benefit out of that card over the T1000. If you're getting into larger, complex things, you probably want to move up to the A4000. If you're getting into very large, very complex, seismic stuff, then DCC or render tracers. And then if you're doing special effects and those type of things, anywhere in the 5,000 and 6,000. The 6,000 is the card that all of our media and entertainment customers use, and they usually use two of them in there, and they're about $7,000 a piece, by the way. So when you load up one of these machines, it can be very profitable for everybody as well. So does that help demystify, hopefully, the graphics and why you want to have a GPU, and even the standard person sitting at a desk can get a better benefit out of even a low-end GPU. So that's what I want you to leave with on this today. So we have the same CPU line in our mobile products. We've just put them into NVIDIA's put them into a single chip, so it's better integration onto our motherboard and easily cooled from the air standpoint. So same type of thing you see there. You've got the T series at the low end, business graphics. a heavy user will benefit all the way up through an artist rendering stuff in a movie, right, up to the 5000 series. Here's my product lineup. We'll go through some details of some of the other ones. I want to pull out some views of some stuff, and we also have some product that's still available. So I want to point out that I have the 340s and the 350s still in stock. Those are 10th and 11th generation Intel processors. We have some, I know that Ingram has a number of these in stock, and they also have some very good spiffs on them. We have some very good spiffs on them, and we also have some reduced prices on them as well. So if you've got an opportunity for somebody who's looking for a little bit higher end desktop, please take a look at these. They'll be able to, I think, provide you with good value for your customer as well. Moving over to the right, we've got our P360 Tiny, which is the 12th generation products. So the other one I want to point out is we also have the 360 Tower and this 360 Ultra. The 360 Ultra is one I want to take a little minute and talk about because it's a different form factor. It's a 3.9 liter sized machine. So it's bigger than it's a little bigger than a small form factor, smaller than a Tower. But what it does, it gives you ability to have up to an A5000 card in it because the power supply is bigger. It allows you to put more memory and more stuff inside there. But here's the other thing I think is important too, is that we give you dual 2.5 gig Ethernet connections as well as Wi-Fi on the machine. So if you have a customer who's rendering these huge files, they need a big pipe to be able to send this out to storage. Oh, by the way, we do sell storage as well. So don't forget that we have anything from direct attached storage to higher end products as well. So just take a look at this box. If you ever have an opportunity for somebody who wants something a little bit smaller than a Tower, about the size of a small desktop, and I think you'll find it's going to fit them very well, and it's going to give them some things that maybe they hadn't thought about from a power standpoint. So continuing on to the higher end of our desktop line is we have the P520s. We have two different flavors of that. Basic difference between the two is going to be size. One allows you to get more cards in, bigger power supplies. Then we move on to the P620. We were the first to come out with the AMD and the Threadripper Pro, so you get up to 64 cores on that machine. And it's one that the media and entertainment people have just really taken a shine to. I know that Ingram has a number of these in stock, and we are interested in moving these. So please, if you have an opportunity for these, let us know. And we also have graphics cards available, so you can choose what you want to be able to put in there from a graphics standpoint if a customer should decide they want to do that. And then moving into the P720 and 920, that's our dual socket Xeon machines. So the P720 gets you into the dual socket, P920 gets you into a little bit higher end dual socket, bigger power supply, more cards, right? That's at the end of the day, that's what they want, is the compute power and the cards. Next, if you take a look at our mobile workstations, we start with our P14S, and that's our Gen 3 model of that. That's the 12th generation. So again, it's got the T1, T500, good business graphics. So people can't get a hold of a 14-inch on the other side of the house. You can certainly look at one of these. Then we move into the P16S, which is our Intel and AMD. It's our entry level into our 16-inch model. We still have some 15Vs still around in 15Ps. So if you do need some of those in the 15-inch, 15.6-inch screen, that you can. Then we move into what we refer to as the lightest of the world, which is the most powerful P1 Gen 5, which you can go up to about an A5500 graphics card in there. So again, high-end artists rendering at home, maybe he or she would want to be able to use that. And then our most powerful workstation we have is our P16 in the mobile products. Okay. And I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you, since we talked about this at the beginning of the hour, of our monitors. We have a P series. I think Lisa, you said it was a 24H or 27H, which there are a number of those in stock. I actually bought myself two of those because I think I saw that there was a difference. And I'm not just selling this to you because I sell the product. There is a difference. It's color calibrated at the factory. When you plug it into our machines, they talk to each other. They render out the most beautiful colors and scenes that you can ever imagine. So they are actually worth taking a look at. I would challenge you to do that. So that kind of wraps up my section. I don't know if there's any questions, if you want to ask them, or if there's anything in the chat that you guys need me to look at, but that's what I've got.
Jeff, I think there's a few questions in the chat. So one of them says, when will we see more inventory on the P630 Tinies?
P630 Tinies?
P630 tiny, I think that's the question.
We don't have a P630 tiny. We got the P620, which is a full-size desktop. I mean, full-size tower. So is that the right? Okay, let me see more. Pregnant.
Sorry, he said, sorry, P360.
P360. I'm honestly, I'd be shocked that you're asking me that because we have tons of inventory on that. I know that Ingram did some purchases toward the end of last quarter. Some of it may not have gotten here yet. I'm starting to see it hit, but yes, we should have plenty of P360. And the one I would suggest you look at is look at the P360 Ultra. It's that one we talked about in the middle where I kind of broke it out a little bit more. It's got a lot of real nice features associated with it. And I know that there's tons of that in stock. At least I'd have to look and see, but I'm pretty sure you guys have 360s in stock. Any other questions?
I think there was one more in there. Yeah.
Ryzen 5 using, not yet, not in a workstation. So the question was, do we have a comparable product to the AMD Ryzen 5 to access virtual desktop? We do not have it in a workstation product yet. We are expanding our product line with AMD and workstations, so stay tuned. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I want to thank you for your time, and I appreciate you guys spending the time with me. If there's any other questions you think about afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jeff.